Okay, so today we're going to look at how do I get through a panic attack. So if you're having panic attacks, you know kind of the things that go along with it. You've got oftentimes sweaty palms. You've got that tightness that comes. Oftentimes there's pain in the chest. A lot of times people will think that they're having a heart attack, or if there's something that you're afraid of, you're afraid that it's going to come on you quite suddenly. It's like a sudden unexplained fear that covers you. Dark feelings and dark thoughts often are associated with it. It feels like you're on the outside looking in. It feels like you are like you're in a glass tube and your body is out there somewhere. So obviously, if you are going through panic attacks, you already know what it feels like. So let's look at how to get through the panic attacks. Okay, so first off, it won't last forever. Remember that whenever you're going through a panic attack, this is not going to last forever. It's something that will pass, and so you just have to embrace the fact that it is happening and go through the rest of these steps. Another thing, and I'm not giving these steps in any specific order. You're going to have to find whatever works for you. Second off, you won't always feel like this. Okay, this is something that will pass. The thoughts that you are thinking will pass. The feelings that you're feeling will pass. And just remind yourself of that, because you're going to genuinely believe that this is going to be the end of the world, that you're going to die, all that kind of stuff. And you will be fooling yourself, and you'll be fighting yourself too. And so that's one of the things I really think that makes panic attacks more difficult, is because you can't trust what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and you have to actively fight yourself. Third, breathe with your diaphragm. Let me see if I can show you this on the camera. When people are having panic attacks, what they do oftentimes is they breathe with their chest up here. So it goes, which just makes your chest feel tighter. Okay, and that's the thing that you want to avoid. You want to avoid feelings of tightness. You want to avoid breathing too fast. Just slow down and instead focus on breathing with your diaphragm. If you don't know what I mean by your diaphragm, your stomach. Instead of breathing with your chest, breathe with your stomach, okay? So you want to focus on slowing down your breathing. And oftentimes with panic attacks, you're going to have things like real rapid thinking, and just stop that and start doing things slower, okay? Maybe start with your breathing. Slow your breathing. Focus on your breathing, okay? Try to kind of push the thoughts and feelings you're having. Try to push them to the side for a minute and focus instead on the breathing itself. Okay, and also remember that not everybody's going to have panic attacks in the same way. Some people have panic attacks that cause other medical complications like seizures. Some people have one panic attack and it's gone. Some people have just a real slight panic attack. Really, it just depends on the person. It depends on how they handle it. It depends on what's going on in their life. It's very unique to the person. So slow your breathing. Focus on that. Okay. If you're talking to someone, like if you're in the middle of a lecture, for instance, focus on saying things slower. Because when we feel in that moment of the panic attack, when we feel that panic coming on us, what we do is we allow it to affect everything of how we're acting. So in order to get your ground back, it's important to focus on those things that the panic attack changed. Starts talking slower, breathe slower, focus on the things. I also want to kind of share something. When I was having panic attacks, one of the things that was common was I had a lot of migraines and stuff with it, and so I'd have real bad headaches. One time, part of my face was numb, and part of my body went numb. Things like that, where you genuinely believe that there's something wrong, and you convince yourself that there's something that's wrong, and so your body reacts as though there's something that's wrong. And so that's why it's so hard. Is it's not just that you believe that something's wrong; it's that you genuinely feel, and it appears that there is genuinely something wrong. A lot of times people have gone to the hospital. Oh, I have a heart attack. And it's nothing but a panic attack. Now, I do want to put things in perspective. I know when you're having a panic attack, it feels like the worst thing in the world. But the truth is, it can't do anything to hurt you. And the fear itself is the thing that you're fearing. You're fearing fear. And so just focus on that. You know that there's nothing that it can't do anything to you. Okay? I know it feels like you're out of control, but don't focus on that. Just focus on the fact that it will go away. It won't last forever. So don't believe what you believe. When you're having a panic attack, you're going to feel and you're going to think things that you think are genuinely true, but they're not. And let me just stop right there and say, if you are having a heart attack, don't write it off as a panic attack. You do need to see a doctor. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that oftentimes with panic attacks, so make sure that a doctor agrees with you that you're having panic attacks. Don't diagnose yourself. Get help from a counselor, from a doctor, or something, and make sure that is actually what you're having, that there is no medical issue that you should be concerned with. And I know a lot of times people say, well, I'm afraid to go to the doctor. Well, the best way to overcome fear is by subjecting yourself to fear. So maybe do whatever it takes. See if there's a doctor that will come to your house, or see if there's someone who will go with you, or whatever. Just do whatever it takes to start working through the issue, okay? So don't believe what you believe. Stop. Just whatever you're doing, just stop for a minute, okay? There's nothing in the world that is absolutely has to get done right now. There's not a single thing in the world. I used to have this kind of thinking. I stressed myself out. I got to do this, got to do it. And the truth is, if you think about it, there's a lot of things in life that we stress ourselves out about, but that ultimately it's okay. Like for instance, if you get fired from your job, it's okay. It's all right. You'll find a way. That's how life works. I mean, look at the evolutionary process. Life, it finds a way to adapt to things. And although it might be scary to think about, oh, well, if I lose my job, I'll lose my house, and don't worry about it. Find a way to not worry about it. Find your peace, find your calm, find your center. Some people have done this through religion. Some people have done this just through doing good things. Some people have done this through, I don't know, find something that works for you, a hobby or whatever, and just find some way to find that calm and center. Okay, so stop for a second and just focus on calming down. Two more things. Feel something. Be it the car seat, or a lot of times people like feeling a piece of ice, something they can feel in that cold contrast, especially when you're like on a hot day, especially with panic attacks. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying that. With panic attacks, oftentimes you'll overheat, you'll feel really hot and stuff. So if you feel something that contrasts with that, like a piece of ice, it can oftentimes calm you down. Also, I know for me at least, it seemed like it got worse in heat, so go somewhere where there's cool. Go in your car and turn on the AC or something. But another time, just another quick thing here. Sometimes panic attacks can genuinely be something that your body is trying to tell you something about, like you're overheating, you need water, something like that. So just make sure that you get your medical grounds covered before you do that. And I know sometimes when we're going through panic attacks, we think that if we just avoid it, it'll be better. But the truth is, the longer you avoid it, the worse it'll get, and the harder it'll be to face it later on. Face it as soon as it starts happening, or as soon as possible, like now, and just deal with it with peace and with calm. Hey, this is going to be okay. We can do this. Okay? And remember that the panic attack cannot kill you. The only thing you have to fear is allowing that fear to dominate your life, where where you no longer enjoy your life, and it robs you of your life. It robs you of your feelings, it robs you of these different things. Don't let panic attack win, because the longer you let it go, it'll grab more and more ground. You'll have panic attacks more and more frequently. All kinds of stuff like that. So anyways, don't want to get off topic here. Feel something, a blanket that has ripples on it like this. If you look, this blanket is a quilt. It has, those, not a quilt, but I can't think of what it's called, but where it's interlaced together, so it has like bumps, and if you feel your finger on that, they have a lot of devices on Amazon, for instance, that are for people with like ADHD and stuff, where it has like switches that you do, and then it has like a thing that you can feel those cubes. I forget what they're called, a fidget spinner, whatever. Find whatever works for you, and find something that you can feel and that can bring you back down to earth, because once again, you're going to feel a detachment. You're going to feel kind of like separate from your body. And then the last thing, beware of comfort devices. I know I just said use something like a fidget spinner, but beware of dependence on a thing. So let's say, for instance, you have a person that always goes with you somewhere whenever you're trying to face panic. Well, that's great for the beginning stages, but as you continue to work through panic, you need to understand what I'm saying. I don't mean pull back from them as in don't be a friend. I mean pull back from them as in push yourself to do it by yourself. Go shopping by yourself. You know, these kinds of things. A fidget spinner, for instance, try and go without a fidget spinner. If it's heat, you know, try and go somewhere without ice. You know, whatever it is, you know, find your triggers and then find out how to overcome it. Because the idea here is to make it through the panic attack. Okay, and I'll post more about panic attacks and those kinds of things later. Do you have any questions? I will be posting advice videos much like this one. So if there's any questions that you specifically have, feel free to comment or to message me. Thank you.